seeing bears at the falls, and we'll start seeing them more down in the lower river, waiting for those sockeye salmon that have already come through. Maybe they came through earlier in the season. They were some of the first to arrive, and they've spawned, and they're now dying and floating back down the river. We'll also, what I kind of suspect will happen is we'll see some more bears in the upper river, up above the falls, because there's still an absolute ton of sockeye salmon that are still swimming up from the top of the falls. They've already passed the falls, and then they're still traveling to Lake Brooks. So what I suspect is we'll see quite a few bears walking that stretch of river, fishing there as well. Can't be certain, of course. These are wild animals with minds their own. But it's always fun to speculate as to how the next few weeks will go. Seasons, you know, they change incredibly fast here in Alaska. It seems like just a few days ago we were just getting started with the summer, and now we're moving into fall. Maybe a third of the way into the fall already. Kind of reminds you to take advantage of every moment you have and really enjoy each experience, and live it. A lot of times I'll be taking photos or taking videos, and I just have to step back and really live and experience what's around me, instead of trying to capture it and save it for later. Kind of reminds me that it's our centennial year in the National Park Service. So we're celebrating 100 years that the Park Service has been around and been working to protect animals like brown bears, places like Katmai National Park, and providing those experiences for people to enjoy, to be inspired from, to learn from. But we're also looking forward to the next 100 years. We want to continue that tradition of stewardship. We want to continue protecting places like Katmai. We want to designate more places to be national parks. We want to increase the number of places that we protect. And we also, we want to be better stewards. The last 100 years has been awesome, but it certainly hasn't been perfect. We're always getting better. We're always learning things. We're always changing our behavior. And we want to continue to do that for the better. We're in kind of I think, a pivotal time in human history where we're growing a lot, and sometimes we see growing pains. And so we all kind of need, I think, to work together to try to fix some of the problems that we've encountered, some of the things, problems that we've even created. And to work together to make sure that places like this, places like Katmai, that they'll be around 100 years from now, 200 years from now. I don't know where we'd be if we didn't have places like this. I met a couple that was traveling all around the country this year, visiting every single national park in 1 year, traveling around in an RV. I thought that was awesome. That was really inspired me to want to go out and see more places. Of course, not everybody can hop in an RV and go visit every single national park, so there's lots of different ways to celebrate, lots of different ways to do your part, and part of what you're doing right now is just that. Places like Katmai would not exist if people didn't care about them, if people didn't enjoy them. And by watching the cams on Explore, you're doing that. You're enjoying one of the most amazing places in the world. But the National Park Service invites you to find your park this year, visit some places near and dear to you, and also to spread the word, we want to get young people in our parks too, because they're the ones that are going to be around for the next 100 years. So if you can show your kids, show your grandkids, show your nieces and nephews all this cool stuff that you get to see on Explore, if you can take them to a nearby park, if you can maybe show them pictures of recent trips that you've taken, it's all part of the answer. And there's other big things we can do too. You can volunteer in your parks, you can donate to your parks, and you can do kind of some of these larger scale things, because it's not necessarily just our parks that we want to protect, it's the whole world. It's part of everything that we do. Everything we do affects the world in some way. I mentioned in our last play-by-play that we really vote with our dollars when we support industries that are really good for the planet. That really helps. When we support industries that are not so good for the planet, that does the opposite. What we eat also has a huge impact on the environment. Vegetables are very healthy, they're great. They're also really good for the environment. It takes a lot less energy to produce vegetables than it does to produce things like beef or other animal products. We can't all eat rice and lentils for every meal of the day, but I think the more vegetables you can put in your diet, it'll be healthier, you'll feel good, but it'll also actually help the environment, help the planet grow. They'll help animals like 480 Otis. In a way. So it's been about an hour. I'm gonna call